Hey everyone, thanks for coming back for another segment of the MCR. Got a couple new faces here with us. To my left, I have MJ. And to my right, I have Lynn. And the reason why Mac and I was hoping that they would grace us with their presence, they recently attended the GOP convention in Grand Rapids, and what got me going on this was I'd read a news report, and basically the gist of the news report that I read was that the GOP establishment was upset with the Trump supporters. And I thought, well, let's go straight to the source, people who attended this event. So, MJ, if you would like to provide your thoughts, what you saw occur, how productive was it?
There were about 2,000 people there, 2,000 delegates that participated. And for me personally, I thought that it was normal, like most of the conventions that I've gone to. The speakers, before you do the vote, every speaker goes up and they talk. Nobody listens to them. It was, it was beautiful outside. You just get up and you walk outside, or everybody's chit-chatting with themselves. Now, but I did hear from a Berman supporter that was very disenchanted because they said that there were bullhorns in this huge lobby. Personally, I didn't hear any bullhorns. And the other thing that they were upset about was because when Tom Leonard went up with his family and 2 kids, and the 2 kids are there, and he just got outrageous boos. And I am a DiPerno supporter, but I didn't hear it, I didn't see it, but I didn't think, I don't know, I don't like that kind of stuff. But anyway, so it went on, and we did the first vote, and then of course, you know that you have to have 50% plus 1, and then we do a second vote. Well, what shocked me basically is that the Michigan Republican Party screwed up the ballots on the second vote. So some people went through, and it'd be kind of confusing to explain how they screwed it up, but they did. After maybe 5, 6, I don't know how many people went through and voted, and this is 5, 6 for like Livingston County, 5, 6 for all the other counties, they stopped the vote. Well, because the second vote, no matter whoever's ahead wins. So they went and people left because they'd about had it. We'd been there since 9 o'clock in the morning, and this was like 6 at night. So I don't know. Somebody said 12 hours. My math isn't so hot. Is that 12 hours?
Well, I know I drove. It took me over 2 hours to get there, and I was there at 9 a.m. So my day started at 6, and I didn't leave until after 6:30. I didn't get home until after 8:30. So it was a long day.
So they stopped the vote, and then they said they had to redo the ballots, which I thought was the most unprofessional thing for being representatives of the GOP for the whole state. Well, then they started the vote again, and that's when Matt DiPerno won and Christine Caroma and the other candidates. But then for myself, I mean, of course I was tickled that he won, but I wondered if there was going to be a challenge for the people that had left. It was a mess. But it did get certified, so...
Any thoughts?
I remember when, the first... everything was going as normal, like Marcia said, or like MJ said. I didn't see somebody with a bullhorn. I did see somebody walking around with one, but never using it. And I was inside most of the day. I did see, some of the press people and the typical things that went on in the convention. And I'm a late starter. I've only been to about 3 of them. So I know that they were trying to possibly use a electronic voting system instead of the paper ballots, but that got shot down. And with that second vote, we were waiting to vote. We were in line so we could hurry up and vote so we could leave because it was the long day.
Just out of curiosity, because I tend to be conspiratorial. Do you think maybe they intentionally screwed it up just so they could get their way? And when I say they, I'm talking about the Republican establishment.
Like, could anybody be that dumb?
You know what? Anyone could play that dumb.
Well,
do you
want to try to explain how that second ballot was set up?
So, yes, and I can provide proof of that because I took a picture of it.
I did too.
So, it was just marked A or B, and the first A and B on the screen did not. It said Attorney General. It said.
All right. So the first, we took pictures, and then because they, instead of having names, they did like Tom Leonard A, Matt DePerno B. So when we took the picture, the like the University of Michigan Regents, the State Board of Governors, that group of people was on this side, and the AG was on the right side. So when they went to vote, you're looking at it. How did that go?
And
they had the wrong columns.
Right, and the people were not in the alphabetical order as the first ballot was.
It was crazy.
So who do we got running for governor?
That is to be determined. There are people still in the race that had to collect the signatures. As you know, they're challenged some.
Well, last I heard, Craig doesn't have enough signatures, or they're disputing his signatures. So
right, Tudor Dixon is getting a dispute on hers. I believe because of the wording on her ballot. And yes, I heard Craig's was also being challenged.
Now, is it resolved as far as Christine Caramano, or however you say her name?
Yeah.
She's going to run for Secretary of State. That's a done deal.
That is a done deal.
Because she's pretty hardcore.
She got it the first round.
Okay.
I was also at the Trump rally in Washington, so she had a full supporter of.
And Matt DePerno, he's going to be the candidate for what is this?
Attorney
General.
All right. Yep. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because I like to theorize. A lot of times I say coattails. A lot of times, and I'm going to use President Trump as the example. They say, like with President Trump, if he does well, down the ticket, coattails as they call it, they do well also given the coattail term. I gotta wonder if coattails might not work in reverse on this one, because Christina Caramo.
On which one? On which the AG or the SOS?
Well, I'll say both.
It wouldn't work. So you don't.
I think it would work in reverse. In other words, whoever we put up for governor, I'm afraid it's going to be establishment. That's my worry.
Wait a minute. You think that the Republican governors that are running, some of them might sneak in as Democrats? No.
What I'm saying is...
What the establishment's putting up. So like the James Craig people...
well, I'm glad James Craig didn't get in. That's my ever so humble opinion.
Well, that's fine. But what I'm saying, though, is... knowing how the Republicans do it in previous elections, they always put up who's next in line, and the establishment candidate. Well, Christina is not an establishment candidate, and I'm not convinced Matt DePerno is an establishment candidate also.
No, he's not.
So here then goes to my theory. Might the coattail term work in reverse? In other words,
they can't change those candidates.
Might they pull through whoever the nominee is for governor? You see what I'm saying?
Well,
I see what you're saying.
Well, you have the Sadano supporters that have been following him for the 2 years.
Actually, I don't know much about this guy, so I couldn't.
Garrett Sadano, you should follow him.
Ryan Kelly.
Is he establishment? Or?
No, he is not.
Okay.
He's actually having difficulties getting into the Trump campaign. But he has been doing things. He started the Stand Up Michigan on Facebook, which was taken down. He has a lot of grassroots supporters. My thought process is I want somebody that's been doing something, not just I'm next in line, it's my turn. So, or, a rhino that they're putting up. It hasn't gotten us that far here in the state. And I know a lot of people are leaving because they feel it's a hopeless battle. But we have to, and I think a lot of the grassroots people have been instrumental, and I think Michonne Maddock has been instrumental at getting some of these grassroots people to Trump. She's with her, what is that called? The conservative coalition that was started. She's right under the, what's his name? She's right under Weiser. She's what is she?
She's vice chair.
She's vice chair. So, and I think that with some of her influence, I think we may get a decent candidate. Now, I have heard heard that Perry has been down to Mar-a-Lago.
He was at Mar-a-Lago, and he thinks his big money is going to get him in, and it really is a turnoff for me personally. I'd rather see somebody like Kevin Rinke come in. I mean, he's had businesses. He's been in Michigan since 1700.
But with Kevin, go ahead.
Okay, just a minute. So Perry, if you read up on it, and I haven't had a chance to be real thorough, maybe I'm not being fair to him, they would say he's a globalist.
I've heard that as well.
Okay.
I am not familiar with some of these names you guys are throwing around, so I'm just trying to take it all in.
Right. So, but the Rinke camp, Rinke's been on different talk shows, and he will not answer the question, do you think there was election fraud last election?
Really?
Yes. And I can plug the station, but he has not, he avoided the question, and that is, if I see him, that is the question I would like to see.
That's an issue with me. I mean, when you think of the anomalies that occurred in Wayne County, and you're afraid to mention that, or
well, that would be a no-go for me too. But we have Pizza and Politics coming up, and I'm definitely going to be very direct with them and ask them.
Good.
In fact, I'm supposed to be helping put on another meet and greet for him. I got roped in by a friend of mine, but boy, that I'll ask. Because you listen to the words.
Right. And, there were many anomalies. I was working a booth in a precinct, and you could not believe all the red shirts, all the brand new voters. They were so excited. They're like, red wave, Trump's going to get it. We voted for him. And then come to find out, by that much, he didn't get it. And
no, I agree with you totally.
And talking to different, what do you call those, county clerks or the clerks that work the elections, a lot of them don't even know the software or the machines have certain equipment in them.
You were at Detroit, weren't you, when it all
I was not at Detroit,
but
Christina Caramo was in Detroit, and I have quite a few friends that were in Detroit.
I was one.
Right.
I was in Detroit, and I was in Pontiac too, and there were some things that went up that I am ashamed to say I probably wasn't taught well enough, because now after you listen to all these people talk, there were things that I had caught, and my two friends I was with, there wasn't an attorney there, and the guy that was the head of it, which I later found was a Democrat, oh no, it's okay that they don't have the township clerk's signature on the envelope, which That was one of the things, checking the signatures. But the one thing about what I wanted Matt DePerno, I worked in the Tom Leonard campaign the last time, and honestly, he's a good guy as far as him personally. I liked his wife and his kids.
I voted for him last time.
Right, but if we don't have in our election in Michigan integrity, that somebody that's up there that knows the ins and outs and catches it, we might as well forget it.
Right, and that was my thing. That's what Matt went out on. He's done he did the Antrim County.
Right.
He noticed that there was anomalies with their, he's representative. He represents a lot of, people that have seen the voter fraud, and he's representing those people that, were witness to it. And the state, when they went down there with all those hundreds of the affidavits, and they wouldn't even look at them.
Right.
There's dissatisfaction.
I'm not looking that the election's going to be turned around and that somebody else will be
No,
president.
but
We have to know what went down and what was wrong.
right. And I think we need to go back to a simpler time.
Yes.
And possibly hand count, but these machines,
That's what DePerno wants to do.
And I can support that, but and the reason why I didn't do the support, put my support for Leonard was he didn't feel that there was any issue with the election
until he started through his campaign. He started making calls, him and his wife, and he's going, "Uh-oh." More people are talking about election integrity, and all of a sudden you start seeing him turn.
See that, and then that.
See, I don't like
that. That irritates me because he's conveniently playing dumb.
Yeah,
That's the way you're making it sound, and literally days after the last election, you knew there were anomalies. When because I keep going back to 4 counties in this country through the 2020 election. Yeah. 4, and you can say 5th if you want to count the one in Arizona, but 4 counties were ridiculously above the national average. That's an anomaly that everyone's content to play dumb with. And this is my problem with the high road Republicans is they're content to say, "Oh well," and I'm tired of the "oh well" Republicans.
I think it was 2007, and it was on C-SPAN, and even some of these Democrats came up way back then, complained about the Dominion machines, and said that there was something wrong with them, and they were complaining about the election results. So it's not that it's anything new, and it's not that the Republicans are all of a sudden saying, "Hey, it went way back then." But you know what? I want to say something. Can I?
All right.
All right. So that's how important being a precinct delegate is, representing your township and going to the county convention and then going on to the state convention. Do you know that we went and we elected the Attorney General, Secretary of State, Michigan Supreme Court, Michigan State Board of Trustees, University of Michigan Regent, Wayne State Board of Governors, and State Board of Education. So when you go there and you've got a part and you can listen to these people, you get conservative people in the colleges. It's so important. And the lucky thing is you have till May 3rd, which is this Tuesday, to sign up to be on the ballot in the August primary, but then that'll carry.
It's on mine.
Okay, well, do it soon. Anyway, so, just a minute, because then for the presidential election, you'll be able to be involved.
Right. Yeah, coming up. So you have to get voted in this November.
Right.
So we did this 2 years ago, and I think the benefit of being a precinct delegate is seeing how your county parties run, but you can also talk to these people on a one-on-one basis and get involved, ask them the questions that that you have of them and what problems you're facing in your district, and see what their answers are, and explain to them, hey, I feel this isn't right, and they might help you. I mean, I've met Christina Caramo over a year ago,
Right.
and I've seen her at multiple events. I had multiple opportunities to talk to her, hear her story, ask her questions, and then, I decided on her compared to some of the establishment people that I couldn't find running until the last minute at state convention. And when you go to state convention after you've done your homework and see all these people that show up, typically we have a good mind of who we're going to vote for, and yeah, we don't need to see their commercials.
Right. Oh my gosh. Do you know that so many people, what they vote on is these trashed out postcards that they get because they
Right.
believe them. And I mean, some of the stuff they dug up, it's like this little minuscule piece of truth. Maybe just a smidgen. And the rest is all just outblown. It was pathetic.
Yes, I got tons.
I got a box.
I filled up
saved
my
it all.
I filled up my recycle bin.
Yep.
And the hot races, because I don't think I got one for Christina Caramo. Knowing going into that, she didn't have to, spend it on any ads because, there wasn't any decent person running against her. Now, I got a ton of Tom Leonard and I got a ton of Matt DePerno stuff, but, my thing was over
They get bigger.
Yes, and it was over a year ago when I made my decision on Matt DePerno. And I told him what my factors were on why I started supporting him.
All right. Anything else? We're going to call this one a wrap. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. That's going to be it for this one. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me. Bye.